Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive into the future. Today, we're looking ahead to entity management in 2025.
It's a wild time to be in this field, that's for sure.
Yeah, the business world is changing so fast.
Keeping up with it all, especially all the regulation.
Oh, the regulation.
It's a huge challenge for legal and compliance teams.
We've got some great material to guide us today. Athenian's 2025 State of Entity Management Report.
And we'll be pulling in some extra insights from their website, too. Articles, marketing materials, all that good stuff.
One stat from the report really caught my eye. 67% of businesses are now managing entities across 3 or more regions.
Wow.
How are legal teams handling all that complexity?
That's a lot of jurisdictions to keep track of, each one with its own unique set of regulations.
Can you imagine trying to stay on top of compliance in the US, Europe, and East Asia?
All at the same time.
Yeah, all while trying to make sure everything's consistent and efficient.
It's a lot.
It really is. And speaking of teams, the report also revealed that 68% of organizations have just 1 to 3 people managing all their entities.
Oh.
Talk about being stretched thin.
Seriously. These lean legal teams are trying to handle a massive workload with very limited resources.
It's no wonder the report highlighted some serious challenges.
Yeah, the top 3 they found were regulatory divergence, poor management practices.
And a lack of centralized solutions.
Right.
It's like trying to build a house with mismatched tools and no blueprints.
Exactly. It's chaotic and inefficient.
And then on top of all that, you've got the cost of outside legal counsel skyrocketing.
It really is. In fact, the report says that 36% of legal departments are now spending over 20% of their budgets on external counsel.
Ouch. Those rising law firm fees are really putting a squeeze on budgets.
Definitely.
Forces those in-house teams to get creative and find more cost-effective solutions.
For sure.
Which brings us to the tech side of things. You'd think with all the technology available today, everyone would have amazing software to manage their entities.
You would think.
But get this. The report says that despite 84% of organizations using entity management tools, a whopping 45% are unhappy with their current solutions.
That's a lot.
I get it, though. Have you ever had to use outdated software?
Of course.
It's so frustrating.
The clunky interfaces, the steep learning curves.
The missing features.
Ugh, it's a productivity killer.
It really is.
And a lot of those frustrations come from systems that are just difficult to use, or they lack those essential features, or they don't integrate well with other tools.
It makes things so much harder than they need to be.
Right. But there is some hope on the horizon.
Oh.
AI. I'm really interested to see how AI is going to transform entity management.
Me too. The report says AI can automate things like document tagging, data management, and even streamline the entire entity creation process.
It's like having a super efficient assistant.
Exactly. And the potential time savings are huge. The report claims AI can cut document filing time by up to 90%.
90%.
90%. Think of what legal teams could do with all that extra time.
That's incredible.
It almost sounds too good to be true.
Right?
Are we heading towards some entity management utopia where AI swoops in and solves all our problems?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. AI definitely has amazing potential, but there are some potential pitfalls to watch out for, too. And of course, we can't forget about the ever-changing regulatory landscape. It just keeps throwing new hurdles our way.
So even with AI's help, there are still some bumps in the road.
Definitely.
What are some of the specific challenges we should be prepared for in 2025 and beyond?
The Athenian report highlights 3 key areas: the regulation of AI itself, the growing demand for ESG transparency, and those ever-present concerns around data privacy and cybersecurity.
Let's break those down a bit. AI regulation is a hot topic these days.
It is.
It's complicated, but basically as AI gets more powerful, we need some guardrails to make sure it's being used ethically and responsibly.
Exactly. And it's not just about avoiding harm.
Right.
It's also about making sure AI is developed and used in a way that's fair, transparent, and accountable.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then there's ESG transparency. For those who might not be familiar, ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance.
Yep.
These are factors that investors and consumers are paying more and more attention to when they're evaluating a company.
Absolutely.
They want to know about a company's performance and impact.
It's not just about ticking boxes anymore.
Yeah, stakeholders want real transparency and accountability.
They want to know how companies are addressing things like climate change, social justice, ethical business practices.
All that good stuff.
Right. And this puts even more pressure on legal and compliance teams to make sure their entities are aligned with these changing expectations.
It seems like all these challenges, AI regulation, ESG, transparency, data privacy, they're all connected.
They are.
So legal teams need to take a more holistic approach to entity management.
Absolutely. It's not about tackling these things in isolation.
Right.
It's about recognizing how they're all interconnected and developing strategies that address them all together. And that's where the need for really effective solutions becomes even more crucial.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and explore some potential strategies for navigating this complex landscape.
Sounds good.
The report mentions 3 key strategies. Implementing a single source of truth for all entity data.
Yes.
Automating routine processes. And, of course, leveraging AI tools.
Of course.
Let's break those down a bit further. First up, the single source of truth. What does that actually mean in practice?
It's about getting rid of all that chaos, the scattered spreadsheets.
Oh, spreads.
The emails, the shared drives.
Oh.
Imagine having all your entity data, corporate records, compliance documents, ownership information, all in one secure platform that's easy to access.
It sounds like a dream. No more hunting through Ellis files. Or trying to decipher handwritten notes. I can see how that would save so much time.
Tons of time.
And reduce the risk of errors, too.
For sure.
But it's not just about being organized, is it? It's about having data that's accurate and reliable.
Exactly. When you have a single source of truth, you can trust the data you're working with.
You know it's good.
It's the foundation for good decision-making, streamlined processes, and better compliance.
So it's like building a house on a solid foundation.
Yes.
Instead of on shifting sand.
Exactly.
I'm sold on the concept. But how do we get there? How do organizations actually implement this single source of truth?
That's where technology comes in. Modern entity management platforms are designed to centralize that data, automate those workflows, and give you real-time visibility into entity operations.
So it sounds like choosing the right technology partner is key.
It is.
What should companies be looking for when they're evaluating these platforms?
A few key things. First, it needs to be user-friendly and intuitive. Legal teams are already busy enough. They don't need to be wrestling with complicated software.
Ease of use is definitely at the top of the list. What else?
Security is absolutely paramount. We're talking about sensitive corporate data here.
Right.
So the platform needs to have top-notch security protocols.
Things like
Encryption, multi-factor authentication, regular security audits.
all the essentials.
All of it.
Data breaches are a nightmare for any company,
The worst.
especially when you're dealing with confidential entity information. So a secure platform is non-negotiable.
Absolutely.
What else should companies be thinking about?
Scalability and flexibility are essential. The platform needs to be able to grow with the company's needs.
So it can handle new entities, new jurisdictions, new regulations.
Exactly. A system that can't adapt to change will quickly become a bottleneck.
Makes sense.
Anything else?
Integration capabilities.
Right.
The platform needs to seamlessly integrate with other business systems.
CRM, ERP, financial reporting software, things like that. This helps break down those data silos and gives you a much more holistic view of the business.
So it's about moving beyond standalone solutions and really embracing a more interconnected approach to entity management.
Right?
It sounds like finding the right technology platform is a crucial step in preparing for the future of entity management.
It really is.
The right technology can really help legal and compliance teams navigate all that complexity.
Sure.
And enhance efficiency and reduce risk.
Absolutely.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground already. We've explored those growing challenges of managing entities
Yes.
in a globalized and rapidly changing business world. And we started to unpack some potential solutions.
Solutions that can really help organizations stay ahead of the curve.
But there's much more to uncover.
We've only just scratched the surface. In the next part, we'll dig a little deeper into those potential pitfalls we mentioned earlier.
Right, we're going to talk about those risks associated with relying too much on AI, and about those data security concerns, and also about the challenges of actually getting an organization to change the way it does things.
Exactly. It's going to be fascinating.
So make sure you stick around for part 2 of our deep dive into the future of entity management.
Welcome back. I'm excited to keep exploring this evolving world of entity management with you.
Review. Last time we talked about some pretty big challenges.
Yeah.
Regulatory divergence, those lean legal teams, and those rising costs. But we also talked about some really promising solutions like AI and that idea of a single source of truth for entity data.
Right. And we also touched on some potential pitfalls to watch out for.
We did.
As we dive a bit deeper into those, I think it's important to remember that technology, while powerful, isn't a magic bullet.
That's a great point. It's easy to get excited about all the new tools.
Yeah.
And forget that they come with their own set of challenges.
Definitely.
So let's start with one that's top of mind for a lot of organizations, data security.
Okay.
With all this sensitive entity information being stored digitally, it's a prime target for those cybercriminals.
Absolutely. And it's not just about preventing data breaches. It's also about ensuring that data integrity.
You mean making sure the information is accurate
Yeah, and reliable.
and hasn't been tampered with?
Exactly. So that means choosing technology partners with strong security protocols
Okay.
and establishing really strong internal controls and processes.
So it's kind of a multifaceted approach, right? We need the right technology.
Yeah.
Things like encryption, multi-factor authentication,
Uh-huh.
but also the right procedures.
Right.
Regular security audits, training for employees, clear data governance policies.
Exactly. It's about having those layers of protection,
Right.
both technological and procedural, to safeguard that valuable entity data.
Makes sense. But you were saying that technology itself can also be a source of risk.
It can if we're not careful.
You're talking about the risk of relying too much on AI, right?
Right.
But I thought AI was supposed to be the solution, not the problem.
Well, it can be both. Remember, AI systems are only as good as the data they're trained on.
Okay, yeah.
If that data is biased,
Oh, right.
incomplete, or inaccurate,
Uh-huh.
then the AI's output will be flawed too, and that could lead to some bad decisions.
And compliance issues.
Exactly.
So that old saying, garbage in, garbage out,
Yeah,
it applies to AI too.
it does.
It's a good reminder that human oversight is still essential.
Absolutely.
We can't just blindly trust the AI.
Right.
We need to understand how it works, what its limitations are, and how to interpret the results.
It's about finding that balance between human expertise and AI capabilities. Legal and compliance professionals need to be the ones in control, using their judgment and experience to guide the AI and make sure its recommendations are sound.
It's more of a partnership then,
Yeah.
not a replacement. Now, another potential pitfall we need to talk about is change management. Implementing new technology, especially something as transformative as AI, can be a huge undertaking for any organization.
It really can.
It's not just about flipping a switch and expecting everyone to adapt overnight.
Right.
It takes careful planning, communication, and support to make sure that transition goes smoothly.
It does.
It's about bringing people along on the journey, helping them understand the why, the what, and the how of this new way of working.
Definitely.
And that can be a real challenge, especially in organizations that are used to doing things a certain way.
Change can be scary, even when it's for the better.
That's true.
So clear communication is key here. Leaders need to articulate the goals of the change, the benefits it will bring, and how it aligns with the overall strategic vision.
Right.
And it's not just about top-down communication either. It's about creating those opportunities for dialogue, feedback, and collaboration.
So people feel like they're being heard
Exactly.
and involved in the process.
Exactly.
And we can't forget about training.
Oh, yeah.
People need the skills and knowledge to actually use these new technologies effectively.
Absolutely. Investing in training is essential, not only to make sure people know how to use the tech, but also to build their confidence and reduce anxiety.
It shows that the organization is committed to supporting them through this transition.
It does.
So we've talked about data security, the need for human oversight of AI, and the challenges of change management.
We have.
These are some pretty big hurdles to overcome.
They are.
But challenges also present opportunities.
They do.
By being proactive and addressing these potential pitfalls head on,
Yes.
businesses can actually unlock some pretty significant benefits.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
So let's shift our focus now to some of those exciting opportunities that are ahead for entity management in 2025 and beyond.
Okay.
One area I'm particularly interested in is the use of AI for predictive analytics.
Ooh, yeah.
Instead of always playing catch up with regulations and reacting to things after they've already happened,
Right.
AI could help us anticipate potential compliance issues before they even come up.
Exactly. Imagine being able to identify and address those risks ahead of time instead of scrambling to fix problems later. That's a much more efficient and effective way to operate.
And a lot less stressful, too, I imagine.
Yeah.
But it's not just about mitigating risks, is it?
It's not.
The report suggests AI can also be used to find opportunities for optimization, like streamlining processes, improving decision-making, and even discovering new business opportunities.
Absolutely. It's about using AI's ability to analyze all that data, find those patterns, and extract those valuable insights that can inform all sorts of things.
Everything from market expansion strategies to M&A decisions.
Right.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. Can you give us an example of how this might work in practice? Let's say a company is thinking about expanding into a new market. How could AI help guide that decision?
Sure. AI could analyze a ton of information, including the regulatory requirements in different jurisdictions,
Okay.
the economic conditions,
Uh-huh.
competitor activity,
Well, right.
even things like political stability,
Wow.
all to help identify the most favorable locations and the best business structures.
So it's like having a whole team of super smart analysts working for you, 204/7 crunching numbers and giving you data-driven recommendations.
Exactly.
That could give businesses a serious edge over their competitors.
It could.
And as AI keeps evolving, we can expect even more sophisticated and nuanced applications in entity management.
Definitely.
It's exciting to think about all the possibilities. Now, another trend we can't ignore is the rise of blockchain technology in the world of corporate governance.
Oh, yeah.
I know blockchain is a hot topic these days, but I'll admit I'm still trying to wrap my head around how it applies to entity management.
It's a really interesting concept. Think of blockchain as a kind of digital ledger,
Okay.
one that's virtually tamper-proof.
Tamper-proof.
Every transaction is recorded and verified by a whole network of computers,
Okay.
making it super secure and transparent.
So if we apply that to entity management, could we have a system where all those corporate records,
Yes.
articles of incorporation, meeting minutes,
Yep.
all of it,
Yeah.
stored securely and verified on this blockchain?
Exactly. No more worrying about losing documents or fraudulent activity or disagreements about the accuracy of records.
Because everything is time-stamped.
Time-stamped, auditable, and accessible to anyone who's authorized.
Wow.
It's huge for security and compliance. And it could also really streamline processes like entity formation, regulatory filings, even shareholder voting.
We're basically creating a digital trust system for managing entities.
Exactly. And while it's still early days for blockchain in this area, we're already seeing some really innovative applications starting to emerge.
That's exciting.
It has the potential to really revolutionize the way we manage entities, make those processes more efficient, more transparent, and more secure.
I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on that.
Me too.
Now, let's talk about another trend that's gaining momentum. This idea of integrating entity management with other business systems.
Oh, yeah. This is crucial for breaking down those silos and creating a more holistic view of the business. We're talking about connecting entity management with things like CRM,
Okay.
ERP, financial reporting,
Right.
and tax software.
So instead of having all this data scattered across different systems,
Right.
we're creating a single unified view
Yeah.
where information flows smoothly between departments and systems.
Exactly. This kind of integration can streamline processes, improve data accuracy, and provide valuable insights for strategic decision-making. It's about connecting the dots.
And seeing the bigger picture.
Exactly.
So it sounds like a win-win for everyone. But achieving this level of integration takes some serious planning, right?
It does.
And execution. What are some key things that organizations should be thinking about if they're looking to make this happen?
First, they need to choose technologies that are actually designed for integration.
So they play well with others.
Exactly. Look for platforms that offer open APIs and have robust integration capabilities.
So interoperability is key. The systems need to be able to talk to each other.
They do.
What else?
Data mapping.
Data mapping.
You need to have a clear plan for how data will flow between systems,
Okay.
making sure everything stays consistent and accurate.
And don't forget about change management.
Oh, right.
This kind of integration can really shake things up.
It can.
Change those existing workflows and processes.
Definitely.
So again, clear communication, training, and support are essential.
Absolutely.
The big undertaking. But the potential benefits are huge.
They are.
So we've explored both the potential pitfalls and the exciting opportunities ahead for entity management.
We have.
It's clear that we're at this really interesting point
Yeah.
where technology is changing everything
Reshaping the whole landscape.
and creating both challenges and possibility.
As we look ahead to 2025 and beyond, it's clear that the world of entity management is going through a major transformation.
It is.
We have new challenges, but we also have amazing opportunities to improve efficiency, strengthen compliance, and really drive strategic value.
But like we've been talking about.
Yes,
Navigating this new world requires a strategic approach,
for sure.
a willingness to embrace change, and a commitment to constantly learning and adapting.
Absolutely.
And on that note, I think it's time to switch gears a bit and think about what all of this means for those legal and compliance professionals.
Okay.
How will their roles change as technology takes on more of those routine tasks?
Right.
What new skills will they need to thrive in this rapidly evolving environment?
Those are great questions, and we'll explore them in the final part of our deep dive.
We'll dig into how the roles of legal and compliance professionals are changing in this age of AI and automation.
Yeah.
And we'll discuss the skills and strategies they need to stay ahead of the game.
It's going to be a great discussion.
So make sure you're back for part 3, where we wrap up our exploration of the future of entity management.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been talking about the future of entity management. And in this final part, we're going to tackle the big question.
The big one.
What does all this mean for legal and compliance professionals?
It's a really interesting question. We've talked about how technology, especially AI, is going to automate a lot of those routine tasks in entity management. But I think it's an opportunity
An opportunity.
for legal and compliance professionals to really step up and focus on that higher value work.
So it's not about AI taking jobs.
No.
It's about AI making those jobs better.
Exactly. Augmenting human capabilities.
Okay, I like that. But what does that higher value work actually look like?
Well, for one, it means shifting away from just reacting to compliance issues
Okay,
and moving towards more proactive risk management.
I see.
Instead of just trying to meet deadlines and check boxes, legal professionals can actually use their expertise to identify and mitigate potential problems before they even happen. Less firefighting,
Exactly.
more strategic planning. I like that. So it's a shift from a tactical role to a more strategic one.
Exactly. Legal and compliance professionals can become those trusted advisors
But advisors,
to the business, helping to shape strategy and guide those big decisions using their knowledge of the legal and regulatory landscape.
that makes them a lot more valuable to the business.
It does.
And it's not just about risk management either, right? We talked about how AI can help gather and process all this data,
Tons of data.
but it's still those human professionals who can actually make sense of it all.
It's true. Data is only valuable if you know what to do with it.
Right.
Legal and compliance professionals, they have those critical thinking skills, that ability to see the big picture.
Yeah.
They're the ones who can analyze that data, identify those trends, and turn them into actionable insights for the business.
So it's not just about knowing the law.
No.
It's about knowing how to use data and technology to make better decisions.
And drive those better outcomes for the company.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It sounds like the future of entity management is going to require some new skills. What are some key areas that legal professionals should focus on developing?
Data analysis and interpretation are going to be crucial.
Makes sense.
This might mean learning some new tools and technologies,
Okay.
but also honing those critical thinking skills, being able to spot patterns, connect those dots, and extract meaning from these complex data sets.
So it's a mix of technical skills and analytical thinking.
Right, and we can't forget about the human element either. In a world where AI is handling more of those routine tasks,
Right.
those uniquely human skills, communication, collaboration, negotiation, problem solving, become even more important.
Those are the things AI can't do, those soft skills.
Exactly. They're what will set those legal professionals apart as businesses face this increasingly complex and constantly changing regulatory landscape.
It's a lot to keep up with.
It is. Legal and compliance professionals need to be able to communicate effectively with stakeholders, build relationships, influence decisions, and find creative solutions to tough problems.
So it's not just about being a legal expert. It's about being a strategic thinker, a problem solver, a communicator, a collaborator.
Exactly. The future of entity management requires a well-rounded skill set.
Technical expertise, business acumen, and strong people skills.
You got it.
Sounds like an exciting time to be in this field.
It is full of challenges and opportunities.
It really does.
For those who are ready to adapt, embrace those new technologies, and really develop those key skills, the future is incredibly bright.
Well, listeners, that wraps up our deep dive into the future of entity management. We've explored the trends, the challenges, the opportunities, and how the roles of legal and compliance professionals are evolving in this dynamic landscape.
And if you're hungry for more insights and strategies to navigate this future of entity management, I highly recommend you check out the full Athennian 2025 Global Entity Management Report. It's full of valuable information, a great resource for anyone working in this area.
We'll be sure to include a link to the report in the show notes. If you enjoy this deep dive, please subscribe to our channel for more insightful conversations on the trends shaping the business world. We're always exploring new topics and bringing you those expert perspectives on what's coming next.
Thanks for joining us on this journey into the future of entity management.
Until next time.